like you said, the fact that when you go down this Bitcoin rabbit hole, right? Like the central question is what is money, and just realizing that you never really learned what money is and what that actually means, that no one ever taught you, but it's like the most important technology people use to communicate with each other, to express value with each other. When you really sit with that and think about it, that is already just incredibly messed up. It's like, why weren't I taught what this is, right? Like, why is my reference to money basically me being 5 or 6 years old, getting some coins, going to a store, saying like, can I have a bread or lollipop? And I give the coins and I get it back, and then I'm like, well, that's money. And then the rest of your life, you never really think about it until, for me, I was like mid late 20s, where I just realized I have no clue. And it's funny because I realized it when I was, well, actually, when I was 30, working in a bank. I had a mortgage. And then I had a colleague tell me, did you know the money in the bank is not yours? And I was like, what are you talking about? And then we had a conversation for an hour where he explained like fractional reserve banking and stuff like that. And I just remembered walking away from that conversation being like, okay, I'm an idiot. Like, I have no, look at me, look at where I am, what I'm doing. I was already into Bitcoin. I was like, I have no clue what I'm even investigating, basically. And yeah, when you go down this path of what is money, I think just realizing that you are acting in a system where you think you're an actor, but you're actually a subject. I think that is already like fork in the road number one. Like, you have to take that red pill basically and be like, okay, well, I'm an idiot. I have no clue. I was unconsciously unaware of what I was doing. And I should follow this path if I want to figure it out. Right. Right. And if you want to ignore that, I think that is already a very big decision, if that makes sense. Right. Like, once you realize that there's other people know better than you that influence the money that you trade your time and energy for, then yeah, that's already pretty messed up, right? And that is like the start, the very start, I think, of a part of the
Yeah, it starts with like cataclysmic confusion. For step one, your entire world has to dissolve. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I was like also just in some ways like bred to be a Bitcoiner, you know? I remember like we have memories and like you don't remember everything in your life. You just have like bits and pieces. But I have this memory of being like 9 years old asking my dad, is $1 like a $1 coin worth a dollar? And it was like, of course not, you know? And it was like from the moment I could conceive of money and like coins and everything, it was like, this doesn't make sense. And then you just get gaslighted.
well, that's like almost Voltaire level, right? Like, what does the one mean on the bill? What does the 20 mean on the, right? He says like all money goes back to its value. The value of the paper it's printed on. But that's quite profound for a 6 year.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't re explore that idea until, I was in my early 20s. So, you know,
But that isn't that funny? Like, that you're just doing things, and then at one point you're like, what am I actually doing? And now also, I mean, I'm late 30s. When I think about me being 22, no clue where I was, no clue. I survived somehow, right? But just totally unaware. And I think when you get to that point where you, by some trigger, or you get to that point where you're like, what am I actually doing? What am I actually involved in? How do I actually react? Like the kind of like the who am I question, you know? I think that's when a lot of this stuff basically opens up, right? That just investigating that for yourself, I think, already kind of like pokes holes in the veil of the structure, that you just participate in. And then you realize no one really has figured it out. Everyone is winging it, right? So how can I be, yeah, kind of like more in control or be more conscious about what I'm doing in it? Yeah. I think that's like another door of that rabbit hole, in a sense that maybe if you get there early and you just accept that you don't know everything, that's kind of when it becomes easier. But I agree. I also think I was kind of wired and lucky in that sense to get Bitcoin. Like, I was always the annoying kid in class that asked all the questions, right? And then the other kids were always like, "Oh, there's Bram again with a question." I was like, "No, but I'm actually listening. I'm participating. Like I want to learn. That's why I'm actually asking the question, right?" And they were all like, "No, you just have to ingest whatever this person of authority is telling you." And I never really cared about those comments, but that's what I think about when I think back. Like, okay, what kind of helped me, or what are like the personality traits that I have that actually helped me? But I also think it's luck to a degree, that you also kind of enjoy the pain of taking that red pill, right? Like it's not a fun experience. It's not relaxed,
No,
right?
I
Like
mean
just
it's the opposite of comfort seeking, right? It's
oh
like
yeah,
putting
I
yourself
think so.
in discomfort to see kind of what you're made of, you know? That's funny though. I was very much the same in school, you know? And I'm curious if the people who were like Bitcoiners and kind of got the signal early and understand it to the degree that, the Bitcoin maximalist kind of people do, if they were similar, where it's sort of like a trait shared among all of us that we were just bad students, like intelligent but like couldn't handle it.
Well, I don't know if you believe in these Meyer-Briggs personality types. Like I have a joke here, like INTJ on the cap. I don't know if you've ever seen, like, do you know the
I know of
Myers-Briggs,
it,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so this research that like some Bitcoiners did on Twitter, where they were trying to figure out what are like the personality types of Bitcoiners, and it turned out that like 24 or 26% of Bitcoiners are like INTJ or INTP, where it's only like 2% of all people that are INTJ or INTP, right? So I'm not like super deep in it, but I think it's a fun joke. But I just Googled it. Like INTJ is a personality type, so who is introverted, intuitive, thinking, and judging, right? So the judging part is really like, well, is what you're telling me really true? Right? Is the one on the bill less valuable than the 20 on the bill? Like that doesn't really make sense. No one ever really explained to me why that is, right? Like, so i think I think it's kind of that, right? Like that it's some things are just so illogical that you were told, that it just doesn't let you go. Or you cannot accept it until you kind of understand why it is the way it is. And I think it's to be honest, I think it's a deeply like uh uncomfortable personality, right? Because you're like constantly, it's like never chill, right? You're like constantly questioning and searching and trying to discern whatever you find. Yeah.
Pressure testing everything that you come into contact with.
Yeah, because like who knows? That's kind of my base thing, is like no one knows anything. So why would this be true, or the fact, or the science, or the, you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's that, but it's I don't think it's like skepticism. I think it's more like uh yeah, like honest curiosity, like just not taking anything for at face value, or for also for granted, by the way. Yeah, I think it's just inquisitive, and also having joy in doing that, I would say, right? Like there's a lot of people that don't enjoy thinking or talking or reflecting or whatever, right? They just go with whatever the entertainment of the day is or something. That's also fine, right? But yeah, I think this is just kind of how we are wired, perhaps.
Thanks so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed the show. If you did enjoy the show, don't forget to like and subscribe below. It really helps a growing channel like this out. And click up here, it'll take you to a collection of the best this podcast has to offer.